Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. Thank you, Shifty, signing up for Patreon at $5 a month. Today, we're going to be talking about Mechabellum, RoboCop, and Warcraft Rumble. But first, my name is Christian.
I'm Nick.
Uh-oh.
I'm Nick. Sorry, I had like an audio bug.
What is going on?
Should we restart?
I guess
throw it
so.
in the trash.
I feel like we should. Am I delayed on you guys?
What do you mean delayed?
No, you came in at the same time as me, and then Amelia didn't say anything.
Okay, well, let's do Sniper, Bobby, and then me, and then Amelia.
Okay, I'm restarting it. It's a short intro. Again, take two. Wow, we've never done a take two. Okay. Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. Thank you, Shifty, for signing up at $5 a month on Patreon. Today we're going to be talking about Mechabellum, RoboCop, and Warcraft Rumble. But first, my name is Christian.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
And I'm wondering why you have not been to dlgaming.net. From there, you already listened to us. Why not watch us? Why not wear our merch? Why not sign up for the Patreon? dlgaming.net. That is your portal to us. That sounded so fucking salesy, but whatever. Here we are. How was everybody's week?
My week was great. My week got 100% better when I saw you walk in here with a handlebar mustache, though. I just want to twirl it with my fingers.
It's untwirlable right now, but yeah, one day it will. Well, maybe a little bit. Yeah, I can get some action on the ends. What about Bobby? You have anything going on?
No, surprisingly busy week for me. Didn't game much, but I did get the video done of DLG Con. If you want to see some behind the scenes, what was going on at DLG Con, that video is going to be coming out soon. So I'm excited to share that.
Very nice.
Yet another reason to go to dlgaming.net and click on the YouTube link.
Yep, don't forget to click subscribe. I went to my in-laws' house for 5 days, and that was nice. A lot of playing at a park, as well as going out to eat and talking shit. So it was a good time.
If you say
Cool.
so.
We are so boring. Let's talk about what's not boring. Those video games. What is coming down the pike? Bobby, what do you got? This is a game that I introduced you into, but then you played it, and now you're telling me about it again.
Yeah, the game we are talking about is Roboquest, and this game had its 1.0 release on November 7th. I didn't realize that. It was in early access for a long time, and we had played it, and the easy comparison is Gunfire Reborn. It's a first-person shooter that's also a roguelike. It's also co-op. It's a lot of fun and should be by every facet. It should be better than Gunfire Reborn, but it just wasn't. Like, I played this game and I was like, something's missing here. But now they have their 1.0 release, and I'm actually going to go back and check it out this week and see how good it is. I believe I have this game on Epic. I don't have it on Steam, but I know I played it and I know I have it, so it must be on Epic. But the 1.0 release, I checked out the patch notes for it, and they've got a lot of stuff. First of all, I haven't played this game in a very long time, so I'm sure they've added quite a bit since then. But the 1.0 release included new levels, including a new final boss, new weapons, perks, a new class, and also an entirely new system called Power Crystals. I'm not sure how that works. And they reworked the gadgets. So I'm excited.
You looked at it the first time, dude. Why should I be
I don't know.
hyped
I'd
about
have to
this?
go back
I
and
don't
listen
know.
to that episode. I'd have to listen to the episode and figure out what problem I had with it. But it just was not nearly as fun. It looked better. It had some interesting ideas, but I don't think they had as much stuff as Gunfire Reborn. And
More
I didn't
stuff
like the
probably will fix the game on the 1.0.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah. Bobby, I feel like it was free to play during early access on Epic. I think you might. I'm going back way, whenever that was, 2 years ago. Yeah. But what's the price on this? It was $20 or something?
It's on sale
Mhm.
for $20. Retails at 25. So I think it's gone up now that it's hit its 1.0.
Yeah, but if you can't get it on Epic, I mean, I don't think it's going to be accessible on Epic for some reason. But who knows? What is
Logging
accessible?
in right now to find out.
Yeah. What is accessible and on December 7th on via Steam? No, not via Steam. All right. So I start
Pandora.
I'm dicking around, right? I'm a huge Avatar fan. That does not mean I've been playing video games way too long to be excited about an IP that's landing on a video game console or PC. Like I know better. Don't get your hopes up. So I'm barely on my radar, but I was like, oh, what's coming out soon? What can I talk about? And it was this because it's so soon. So I started looking at it. December 7th, $60. The IGN guy, I watched his video. He played it for 2 hours straight. And I'm just going to kind of parrot what he had said. So it's an Ubisoft game. So everybody was basically expecting a Far Cry game with the Pandora skin. But there's a few other things that he noticed and akin to something else. So the parkour in the game, he said, is very fun, and a little Mirror Edge like. But in Mirror's Edge, I could, everything was painted yellow that you could use as a ledge. This is much more like it looks like you're trying to read the topography for yourself and just trying to like figure out the best way to go through the jungle. And there's multiple paths, and so much so that you can fly later in the game using an Ikron, one of those flying things that you I don't know, what do you call that with? Bond with? Mind fuck each other. And it becomes it kind of becomes your pet. He was saying that you can fly around everywhere with that thing, but it doesn't seem as maybe not as fun and still not as efficient as just jungle parkouring, which I thought was pretty cool. That leads more to how cool the parkouring is as opposed to how shitty the flying is, I feel like.
Mirror's Edge
Anyway.
on Pandora. This is your favorite like sci-fi setting, right? Avatar?
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah. And then Horizon Zero Dawn, that comes in with, you have to scan the humans that are walking around on the mechs and look for weak points. And I guess there was a lot of that in Horizon Zero Dawn. So, it's not exactly Far Cry, just straight up, which, even if it was done well, I play every Far Cry game that's ever come out all the way through. I haven't touched 6 yet, but all the other ones I've played all the way through.
Dude, what's
except
your favorite?
for Blood Dragon, which is Bobby's favorite.
Bobby's favorite.
My favorite is Primal, I think.
My favorite is Primal too. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
We should get matching Primal tattoos. Huh?
Or
Just a rock.
okay.
Like a stick. Yeah. A herb
I'll
sack.
get the rock, you get the stick, dude.
Okay.
People will be asking me, why do you have a turd tattoo?
Yeah. No, they'll go right up to you. They'll be like, why do you have a Far Cry Primal tattoo? One of the least popular ones.
I thought it was interesting that you can hunt, much like Far Cry games, but you can't use a machine gun because that'll spoil the meat and the hide. So you have to use the bow and arrow. But just as much as you're hunting, you're also saving creatures. So creatures that have tracking devices by the humans, much like in Avatar 2, that's what they did to the whales. You sneak up on them and you pull the trackers out, or they might be in a trap and you free them from the trap. So I don't know what determines whether you free them or I guess how hungry you are. I'm like, if I was hungry and I found a trapped creature, I'd just shoot it through the head even easier, I think. But and then so I'm doing all this research, whatever, and I'm watching, and I'm trying to look for my Steam link, which is part 2 of or step 2 of any of my radar stuff, and I can't find a Steam link. And I was like, oh no, did I do a huge mistake and it's not available on PC? No, because it's on PC radar or whatever. And I was like, so what's going on? No, exclusive to the Ubisoft store.
Ew.
dude, I wouldn't. It could be a fucking killer app, dude. Like it could be something I wanted so bad, and I would just wait. There's just no way I'm gonna get another launcher. There's no way. There's no way. There's no. I can't think of a game that would make me download another launcher. Steam, I love you. Steam, I love you.
Is it a timed exclusive? Does that wear off at some point, or is it going to stay on there?
Who knows? Right. It just went stinky poo in my head, and I'm not going to look at it anymore.
Okay, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. You had one chance, and you.
Most Ubisoft stuff is on Steam, so yeah, I would imagine it's time exclusive.
But I thought Steam launches the Ubisoft launcher.
Yeah, I thought it does too.
It does. It does quickly. I don't know.
I think you have to log in once, but then it does it in the background after that.
It would be so cool if you launched a game on that launched a launcher.
There has to be like a launcher fucking like satire game where it's like launcher, launcher,
Yeah,
launcher design launcher.
Yeah.
There is a launcher though. Bobby, didn't you say that like GOG has a launcher?
Yeah, I don't know if they're still developing that anymore.
It's just on GOG.
And besides that one, I thought there was one more that was trying to get some traction, but
called it Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they stopped developing that. There was an April Fool's joke, I think by NVIDIA many years ago about a launcher to launch all your launchers.
If not, we need a DLG launcher, dude.
Yeah.
Please no.
It launches, but the opening splash screen, pictures of me and Emilio's matching primal tag.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's a callback, everybody.
That's a callback. Happened 10 seconds ago. TerraScape, that's the game I'm talking about. It is a casual card and tile-based medieval kingdom builder. It's 96% positive on Steam because if you like these games, you like them. And I feel like these games aren't for people who don't like being super relaxed, getting high, no stakes at all. You just are... Cards come to your hand, you put them on this beautiful tile map, and your town kind of grows from that. And you get points depending how well you synergize between the different terrains, and that's how you unlock cards. And when you run out of cards, if you haven't got enough points to buy another pack, that's when your game ends. So there is kind of like a high score thing to it. But this looks way better than Dwarf Romantic, which is one of my favorite games, which is exactly like this, by the way, same tiles, except they've done a little bit more work to make the tiles interact with each other, like visually. Like just watching the Steam video, I see like a castle being built and the walls automatically form. And so it's not all focused on one tile, which was Romantic was. And it also has multiplayer. So now you and 4 friends get high together and build a kingdom together on one map, and you are versing each other with points. So pretty low stakes, like Carcassonne maybe. That another one of my favorite games. TerraScape is in early access right meow, so you can check it out. No news on the 1.0 release, but I'm probably going to pick this up during the Steam sale because it's 12 Canadian dollary dues, guys. Which is about...
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's on sale for $9.74 American.
$40 sniper, which is the amount of money I'm prepared to spend on this sort of game. That's it for Nick. Space Marine 2 delay? Sorry.
Just a question. Yeah. Can you grow? Oh, you probably don't know this. You haven't played it, but can you grow your island? It seems like your space island is like limited.
That would be
so
size. Unfortunate. Yeah, it does seem that way. I didn't notice that. I don't know. On Dwarf Romantic, it was just never-ending tiles, and you would just go for as long as you could go for. There's people with like 1,000,000 points of like the perfect synergies, but this doesn't look like that at all. So
this game's so pretty. It reminds me of Civ 6, the graphics and the way that tiles work. Like almost like even like the way that the resources pop up and stuff. It's very close.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Well, speaking of things that are not Yeah. Speaking of things that are not close, Space Marine 2 got announced that it's being delayed. So the developer announced last week that they are delaying it from supposedly this month or this winter, aka December, all the way to the second half of 2024. They said that it's not due to money or budget cuts or like employment or anything like that, but instead they're trying to focus on the highest quality game that they can make, which in my opinion, that is the right move to do. If you're going to be making a game that is suspiciously coming out and being delayed only to the rumor of the possibility of a Space Marine or Warhammer show being released next year on Amazon. So people think that, you know, 1 and 1 might be sent together. The fact that it's second half of 2024 is a huge delay. So like almost a year delay is a big difference. And there are people who have seen gameplay, played gameplay behind closed doors, and like, this game seems like it's ready to roll. So maybe they haven't finished a late game yet. I'm super excited for this game, not because of the good guys, but because of the bad guys. The faction I care about is the bad guys later on in the game, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, just some quick news that it did get delayed until second half of 2024.
This might just be me, but I feel like there was a period of time where delaying a game was like super negative or received super negatively, and now when a game is delayed, it feels like everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
well, I feel like when Call of Duty Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 was released, I think when you delayed the game, it was almost like game fucking suicide. People were like, where's my Call of Duty? Or where's this game? Or where's that game? And you were very right. Like, it was very much like people went up in arms about it. But now with the release of like half-baked games and things like that, people are like, wait, make that shit be good. Like, we don't want to spend money on a half-baked game or a game that we're going to have to wait 2 years or 3 years for an update for it to actually work. So if, like I said, if they delay this game to make it better and make it an actual AAA title and not just another throwaway Games Workshop game, then please do. Please take as much time as you need.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody wouldn't want a studio to delay if they have to. Like, why wouldn't you?
money.
You're only going to get a better product unless you're like on a ventilator or something. You're not gonna. Your time is limited. In which case, write an email. I think they'll take care of you. But like, you know, for the most part, you're gonna get a better whatever it is. So, yeah.
Yeah, time, money. Sometimes people feel like maybe they can make a call. They see all the parts, but really they're not seeing parts.
Also, those goddamn investors, man. They keep fucking with everything.
I feel like too, there's also this thing where like you can noodle on something creatively for so long, like something like Star Citizen, for example. Like, because they're funded by the community, they can just like keep developing the game. And I feel like I know nothing about the development of Star Citizen, but just as an outsider, it seems like it could be a possibility of like they're redesigning multiple systems and there's no one to say no, stop, we have to release by this date. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a different thing. It's the people in the suits, man. They've always been the problem. They'll always be the problem. If you wear a suit, hit subscribe. It will take you anyway.
Yeah, we don't. No hate. Highlights. These are games we have been playing. And Emilio, you've been playing a game?
I have. I played it for 2 hours right before the podcast. It's such a crazy game. It's so weird. It's got a little intricacies here. So it's a simulation game at its core, I guess. You are taking an old rundown laundromat owned by your dad, who is definitely an old school capitalist, and he's very busy, so he only left you voice messages on your, this is probably in the 90s, early 90s, I'm thinking, explaining to you how to run a laundromat business, how you got to keep the place clean. You got to apparently it's a fluff and fold too, because you wash the people's laundry for them just to keep I don't think, I mean, it's the most tedious thing of the whole thing, but you got to wash it and then fucking dry it and then fucking put it away. And then you got to fucking unclog the toilet and you got to throw the trash away. And all of this is like very video game it's gamified. So like when you throw the trash away, there's like one of those bars that goes to like maximum power and then goes back down and then goes back up, and you got to time it right. And then if you time it right, you fucking get the maximum score. You got to pull bubble gum off the walls and all this stuff. I know it sounds terrible, right? But then in the back of the in the very, very back of the laundromat, you open it up. There's some video games back there. There's some like old cabinet video games, like 3 of them. And you unlock that, you go back there, you can play them, of course. And you can go to the office, and those are 3-4 things that you can do, basically. And so, you know, your dad wants you to like take over the business, and this is like a small business he had forgotten about. It's a real rundown dump. But after the first day, you can see that far more profits are coming from the 3 video games than the entire laundromat. And so you have to kind of like convince your dad that it's better to like play video game, but he's not about that. Like, a community needs laundromats, it doesn't need video games, right? So like you have to like sneakily
Sounds like your
grow.
childhood.
I know. Talking about not just my childhood, but my work life fucking balance right now in the game, right? So you can manage each game, how much it costs per play, how much you can see how much money it's bringing in per hour. You can see the less popular ones versus the more popular one. I have 5 machines, guys. Like, it's not crazy, but you can switch them around and put the shitty ones next to the good ones, so that maybe it'll get some like overflow onto the shitty one, and you could kind of convince run that racket. And yeah, I already seen returns of like 75 cents on that per hour. You guys don't even understand. So
Wait, this seems super fun. What?
Yeah. So it keeps you busy, dude. So I'm like, okay, how, like a sim game, they're trying to let me know that, like, you know, you have to work hard to make a business work and all this stuff. Probably only 2 days of fucking laundry loading. Dude, I'm on like day 5 and I'm still fucking loading laundry. But here's the other thing. You can play all the video games, and then if you get achievements in those video games, there's like 4 of them per video game, your dollar per hour goes up a little bit. And I've realized that it's more cost effective to me to get those achievements than to fucking go out there and fluff and fold. Like, fuck them. Although you do get a bonus for keeping the place clean, so you got to make sure you do that. But yeah, I'm running around, and this is all in first person. This is like most simulation games. I feel like it's a lot of charts and you're like clicking on things to move around, but this is all first person, so you're like physically running around in a video game and getting all this stuff done. I was content and very busy at the same time. I don't know how much total fun I was having. I was definitely content. But yeah, I can, I think it's on sale for $10. I would definitely recommend this. I felt a little bit of like ownership, like a little bit of pride. And I was like,
this is my arcade.
I was like, these people are fucking animals. They keep every single day in 6 a.m. I walk in here and it's fucking trash all over the goddamn. And I start fucking packing it up in my fucking garbage bag and I'm walking around. So yeah, overall, I think I can recommend this game. I think it's pretty good. It's 9 out of 10 on Steam. I never would have played this, but it was it's free on Game Pass, so even better.
Do you think that this game would do better in VR?
No, because well, maybe. I mean, there's a little. It might even work in VR, because even while you're playing the cabinet games, you can look to your left and right a little bit. I don't know why they put that in there, but yeah, playing the cabinet games, once you play them, you go into another little world. If you made that shit look sick in VR, that would be dope. Yeah, and it's funny because there's like, it's funny, the games that are performing poorly, I don't enjoy myself either. So I'm like, these are shitty games. So hopefully there's a sell mechanic later on. But yeah, the achievements aren't all like upward achievements. There are like die 20 times, so where it looks, at least they're giving you an achievement for trying, and so I can definitely recommend this game. It's a weird game, but yeah, I'm into it. Turning a laundromat into an arcade with your dad's permission, who definitely is not about that shit.
What a unique. This is so unique. I love it.
It is, dude. You talk to your dad. You're on your computer on like Windows 95, and you're like, "Hey, like I ran the numbers, and it's clear that I'm, we're making money off the arcade games." And he goes, rich guy, like fucking, uh, ran the numbers, did you? And you're like, yeah. You send them charts, like this is all like a pre thing, and you're like, look, fucking arrow go up, like money go up. And he's like, no, like that, no way. So
no substitute
secretly
for a.
And what I liked about it too is like I have a goal, like for $1,000 I can knock down a wall and make the storage closet more video game room, because I ran out of video game room. So I could do it secretly, because he drives by every once in a while and he can see inside the laundromat house if it's dirty or not. So yeah, dude, I'm enjoying it.
Does it get angry if you don't clean up the place in the laundromat, or you don't fold people's
I don't think it
laundry or
works
whatever?
exactly like that. I think you either
Okay.
get story 1, story 2, you don't see the guy drive by either, but
Right.
yeah.
So
I wonder if
beating the
there's an
game is like
option-
winning your father's acceptance or something.
Either that or either that or just making a shit ton of money, which would also do that, I think. But doing and at a certain point I realized, I think it's more profitable just to play the video games than fucking keep fluffing and folding. And I'm all about that, so I'm going to try to get the achievements. But if you fail, then it's not worth it.
I feel like you're gonna run into like some sort of like like not game breaking, but like a game moment where like your sister walks in and it's like, you haven't been taking care of the fucking laundromat. Now Dad wants me to take over. It's like,
funny
fucking
you say
nerd.
that, because it was the sister that put the 3 video games in there in the first place. She wants you to like get the video games in there. He's like, oh yeah, your sister's already tried that. She failed miserably. So
They have like a
Aw.
live action trailer. Oh, can you talk a little bit about the games you didn't like? Like the arcade cabinet games you didn't like?
oh, I don't know them by name, but there's like an RPG in there, and I'm like, dude, the fucking washing machines are going. I don't have time for an RPG. I can move. I can play like little bullshit games. I can't get it. I can't start slaying dragons, dude. There's no time for slaying dragons.
Right.
So there's that one, and then the other one's like a dig dug game mixed with Tetris, and I don't understand how it works. So I don't like that one either.
Ugh. But Warcraft Rumble.
Somebody
Nick,
else
is
talk. I gotta pee.
that pretty straightforward?
Yes and no. The gameplay is pretty straightforward, but it does require like a tactician's eye. It's kind of
Tacticians. I like that.
it does, man. I'm finding out like playing PvP in this game can be pretty cutthroat. So this is actually a mobile game. I foresee it coming to computer because of its popularity and how easy it is to play. Except for when you get into like higher levels. So the way it works is that usually in these games, it's a 2-lane game where you can either send characters to the left or characters to the right. However, in this, there's all kinds of like paths and things like that. At its base, it's a game where there's 2 HQs. There's the enemy HQ on the other side, and there's your HQ, and you send units that you get periodically through passive income, and you send them down lanes, and then they fight each other. You don't control how they fight. You don't control if they retreat or whatever. They just run into each other and fight. Now, granted, there are 5 factions. There's the Undead, the Alliance, Horde, the Blackrock, and the Beasts. Now, each one of the factions has 3 leaders. Each leader kind of has their own little different kinds of play styles. For example, there's a Horde leader. He is a goblin, and whenever he destroys a tower, takes something called a waystone, or defeats something, I think, you get gold, and he's the only character that you get bonus gold for doing things like that. However, the other horde leader is Karn Bloodhoof, who is a Tauren, and when he attacks, he sends a shockwave down forward, and it stuns everything in his path. So he, like, combat-wise, he's way more effective than the other horde leader.
How many units are we talking about here at one time on the?
So depending on the game mode and depending on the quote unquote modifiers, like for example, this week, one of the modifiers for something called the Arclight Surge, and so it happens every 3 days, and it's really how you get your money, like your premium currency to like buy units and upgrade units and things like that, is the Arclight Surge. You can get money passively by completing the single player, which it goes through all the I don't want to say continents, but all the sections of the continents in Azeroth, the original Azeroth, where it's two continents. You go through and you beat each boss, and you get like 50 to 70 gold per boss you beat, and you use that gold to buy units. The game doesn't tell you this, but you should not focus a single faction. The reason being is that once you beat 80% of the locations and bosses, you can start doing hardcore versions of each location, and you need to beat every location with all 5 factions. And if you don't, you kind of hit this wall where you have to grind money to unlock other factions and other units. So if you're a new player, I would strongly suggest watching a video on like how to start off, because it is chance on what units can become unlockable for you. Like in the beginning of the game, you are given units to play with. You can choose your leader initially and things like that. But after your first army, everything is random.
Oh, I hear Emilio chewing. Get the fuck away from the mic, dude.
You fucking animal. God damn you, man.
Nick is talking.
Fucking dick.
What is he even eating? Like fucking
I don't know, probably rocks.
Peanuts of all time.
Fucking caveman rocks.
There's the Far Cry Primal.
Yeah, there you go. I think it's popcorn, actually.
Nature's bubblegum. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. Eventually, what ends up happening is that you do unlock raids. As far as guild, like what you do with your guild is pretty cool. Every time there's an Arclight Surge, you earn like a currency for your guild where you unlock stuff. We unlocked one of the undead leaders, and we unlock a perk with her. So every leader and every unit can have 3 perks at the same time. So it kind of changes how some people, like every unit plays. So for example, like the most basic example I can pull out of the air is that there is a Tauren warrior is one of the units that you can get, and she charges people. And when she charges, she stuns for a second, and she continues whacking the shit out of stuff. But the thing is, if you upgrade her to level to like rarity 3, you can give her a perk that lets her charge twice in a row. So you would think, oh, that's cool because you can just charge 2 units and stun them both, right? But the really broken thing about it is that she can charge a unit and then charge a backline unit. And usually the backline units are very, very important. You want to take care of them. And so people who don't know that you have that perk or don't know you have that like buff for them get really blindsided by it. So
what's your guild, Nick?
We're called the Glizzy. We're called the Glizzy Goblins. It's the people that I play well with. Yeah,
Bobby
the hot dog goblins.
And me weren't invited to. We're not cool enough for your fucking Warcraft.
You're not even fucking playing. I told you about this game last week.
I just downloaded it, and what is really cool is it's linked to my BattleNet account. I don't know.
It is linked to your BattleNet account.
That's kind of cool.
You can get free shit through WoW, and you can get free shit through Hearthstone and some other stuff.
Oh, that's how they're pushing the synergy, Glizzy.
Yeah. The last thing that I mentioned that is really nice. So I play another mobile game. I've actually played a couple of different mobile games, but this is the one I've been playing the most lately. In some mobile games, PvP is known as passive PvP or PvEP, where like a person sets up an army or sets up like a team, and you just fight that team, and they're not controlling it. This is not like that. The PvP is live. So you are putting down units the same time someone else is, and you are like competing against that person. You can talk shit too, which is cool. You talk shit through emojis. You can't type, but it's a blast. I haven't seen any money walls yet where the game is like, you have to spend money to continue kind of thing. But you know, I think I've put like at least 30 hours into this, 40 hours into it. And I'm still having fun. So, any questions about it?
How do I join the Glizzy Globs? Where do I put my application?
The Glizzy Goblins. We'll send you an invitation soon. You gotta send a video of us. Send a video to us of you eating a hot dog. So.
Okay. Do I have to fit it all like seagull it, or can I eat it like a lady?
No, you can eat it with a fork and knife, however you want to do it, as long as you eat it. I did mention that each army has 9 to 11 units, right? I did, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. What's cool is every team has its own synergy. For example, the beasts, they have a lot of what are called squad units, where you deploy one unit and then like 3 entities come out, which is pretty rad. But like the BlackRock units, they're all like single entity units, and they're all super duper tanky. And you don't have to keep. Holy fuck, Emilio! Are you dumb as shit? What are you? Are you molesting your fucking mic?
I can't get it to point straight. I'm sorry, everybody.
Well, mute it when you move it, you fucking dingus. That's all I got for Warcraft Rumble before I have a seizure in anger.
I haven't heard Nick get angry before, and not gonna lie, it makes me a little hard. Good job, Nick.
You're welcome.
Okay,
I'm hard to piss off.
I won my first battle. I spawned a bunch of units. I think I had fun, but like it seems pretty. Now, don't take offense to this. I know you're in your. I know you're
simple.
Simple-minded. Yeah, it seems a little brainless. And Nick, don't. I know you're primed. So.
Oh no, you're fine. That's like the first battle, or like the first 3 battles are all like gimmies. Kind of. It's kind of obviously teaching the game when you deal with a boss that doesn't have any other units and you're just fighting the boss and it can only fly and it has like special abilities. You learn that you have to like mix and match your teams. You learn that you have to send them out at certain times. Right. There's no like blanket way to win. That's the other thing about this game is that there's no like you can't look up guides really. You can try and it can be like, well, if you have a level 10 gargoyle and you have a level 9 necromancer, then you can do it this way. But it's like not everybody's going to have the same teams. Like I just unlocked every unit, but they're not all the same rarity or the same strength.
That sounds a little bit like Marble Snap at the bottom layers when people just had random cards. They were just making the best deck they could.
Exactly. That's what it's like when it comes to the teams. Like there are people that are like, so you do get a bonus if all of your shit matches. So if you have all horde units, you do get like your leader gets a bonus. It's not the biggest thing. It's like 10% attack speed or like whatever the bonus is for the leader. But it's not big enough to warrant you always building a horde team or always building an alliance team. Like you can very much like the best flyer in the game is an undead flyer, but the best like tank unit is like a horde tank. Like the game is very dynamic when it comes to like upgrades and you start doing dungeons. So dungeons refresh every week. And the dungeon bosses are different as well. They also have different like abilities. What's cool is you can keep running the dungeons even if you beat them, and you can keep upgrading your army that way. But the thing is, the dungeons are only available to one team every week. So like this week is Beast Week, while next week is going to be Alliance Week, and then it's going to be Horde Week, and then an Undead, and then BlackRock. And so it's interesting. It's not going to win any fucking like super awards, but do I think it's fun because I like the the Warcraft IP? Yeah, of course. It's fun as shit. So,
Bobby, I kind of feel like you might download this. I have an idea.
I'm going to try not to. No, I don't.
Yeah, but you've played these minion games, and you're kind of a Warcraft guy.
I'll tell you right now, I've only spent $5. That's it. So
I'm not worried about the money. I'm worried about the time.
Yeah,
the games are short. The games are short. They are like I think a standard game without overtime is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. but you can win within 30 seconds itself. So
Yeah, but I feel it's like the Marvel Snap thing too. Like you're not just playing one game. I don't know.
yeah, that's true. Like I said, the campaign will take up a lot of your time if you're just trying to crank out the whole thing. But if you're only trying to play like 1 or 2 levels a day, you can. But I'm not done with it. I'm stuck in Black Fathom Depths, I think. I'm getting my ass kicked, so I don't know.
Get better.
Okay, I know it's a mobile game, and I know mobile game, put all the apples in front of you. They're like, get this thing, and this currency goes up, and you'll level up, and all these slot machine things, bright lights, and that's kind of what turns me off about it. I mean, I literally played 4 minutes while you were talking. Just
how many rewards and achievements did you get?
I'm level 2, and I got 60 black gems, and I don't know if those are good.
So there's no, so there's only one premium currency, which is the nice thing, right? It's not like some of the other games where it's like you have 3 different premium currencies and you pay money to get each different one, which is nice. aka Genshin Impact and some other ones. There is the primary resource is gold, and you just get that by, like I said, doing the arc light surges or defeating some of the normal bosses. The other currency is like energy, and that is to upgrade your character's rarity. But in all honesty, in the amount of time I played, I've only upgraded 2 characters' rarity this whole time, and I have way too much fucking energy. And you can farm energy anyways from the dungeons, and you're not going to run out of it. Other than that, there's like a collector's level, but you get that just from defeating bosses. It's not like a currency. You just get that from defeating bosses, and that's it.
I'll send my video of me eating a hot dog. I'll join.
I'm in. You want a Costco hot dog? What do you want? What do you want? Casper's? You want a Ballpark Frank? What do you want? Okay.
What is the hell is Mechabellum?
Mechabellum? Oh, I am glad you asked, because it's like the game that Nick was talking about, except it's on the PC and it has a little bit more of an indie feel. The UI, a bit rough around the edges. I feel like you can tell it's made by maybe a couple people, but it is so satisfying and fun. It is a mech auto battler, and it's like peeling back an onion of strategy, really. Like when you win, you feel like you 100% deserve it. It's like 50% probably positioning of your units and 50% whatever your composition is made out of.
Isn't that what we all want?
Yes, you want to feel like or me personally want to feel like there's very little RNG. I feel like Napoleon. Like when I sweep a perfect, when my units auto battle and they all go to the left and they sweep from behind, I'm like, like I'm very happy. And when I lose, I also feel that too. I'm like, oh, maybe I should have positioned my units over here. He really took advantage of my weak center, and he pushed in all my units. They're split. So there's a couple different things you can do when you're in the battle. Yeah. Hey.
Sorry, Christian. This last weekend, over a drunk talk, we at a party, we're talking about the greatest generals in history, and somebody brought up Genghis Khan, and I was like, he wasn't a general. They were barbarians. They had barbarian tactics. Like, I don't think you could even put him in the mix, and he isn't in the mix for the most part. I don't think he's known as like, you know what I mean? Like, barbarians don't have tactics.
Barbarians
other than like tactics. Yeah,
I think I would probably
other than surround and kill.
I don't know about that.
Be more.
I feel like they invented a lot.
Are there any barbarian generals that are like known as a great barbarian general? I don't think there's one.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Genghis Khan is a good example of someone who I feel like tactics in the medieval world or in the pre-medieval world, what is like the technologies available to you? Like the size of your men is kind of a technology, and how there's less of a gap. There's more of a human element. So if he trained his soldiers really well and they were a cohesive fighting force and they were just rampaging everywhere and winning, I feel like that does count as the best general of all time in a way.
That would be like deck building as opposed to strategy within the game.
I feel like you've lost me. Okay, back
I
to
feel like you're
Mechabellum.
oversimplifying war
Yeah.
in the time of. They're not barbarians. Barbarians don't have tens of thousands of peoples and armies, man.
That's
Yeah,
a
oh, yeah,
derogatory
they do.
term. That's a derogatory term. Barbarian.
No. I'm
I
just
feel
saying,
like
all
it
right.
is a derogatory term.
Listen, we shouldn't be talking about history. I know I'm the one who brought it up, but let's talk more about Mechabellum.
Don't you insult Genghis Khan!
Okay. So when you're fighting in the game, there's a couple things you can do. You can level up your units. They level up the most when they survive the longest. So your units at the back, more often than not, will be the ones to the higher levels, and that is the incentive for your opponent to encircle you and destroy those high-level units, because there's kind of a power creep where if it survives 4 or 5 rounds without dying, that unit's going to be super strong. There's also tech, so you can place multiple types of the same unit, and level up is individual to the unit, but tech affects all of those same units, and they can like drastically change how your army works. For example, there's a tech that spawns another type of unit, and that unit has a tech that spawns another unit. So you can do these crazy things if you synergize well, where one unit is actually spawning 2 other units. The positioning matters, of course. You have these 2 little like League of Legends towers on either side of the map, and if one of those are destroyed, your army gets a debuff for like 30 seconds, and it's a serious debuff. So you can really lose if you don't protect those. And there's also like hard counters. There's these little crawly units that are, of course, really fast. They destroy the snipers. There's these rocket artillery that fire down. They're really good at taking down shields. So it's kind of like being 2 steps ahead of your enemy, and it's really like chess. I feel like Warcraft Rumble, from the little I played of it and what Nick was explaining, was a little more cartoony and like arcadey. This is not like that. Like, it's very punishing if you're not kind of paying attention and at the wheel. And the last part of RNG is these battlefield power cards. So every round you're dealt 4 cards, and you can choose to keep one, and they'll be like a missile strike, or they'll be like a deployable shield. So they can really change the course of the game, but your opponent also gets those same 4 cards. And kind of maybe guess what they're going to do, maybe counter, but maybe they thought you were going to do what they thought that they were going to do, so they do what you thought you were going to do to counter what they were going to do, and now they're 4 steps ahead of you, and they've reverse flip trolled you, okay?
And then you drank the poison cup.
Exactly. There's 1v1s and 2v2s, multiplayer, and there's also survival versus computer. So if you don't want to put in the time to be like learning all the comms, if you just want to relax and have a funner time, there is a survival mode, which I feel like is good for people who want nothing to do with the PvP. The game is like, I think it's $12 Canadian right now, and it is the most fun auto battler I've ever played. I played a bunch of these.
This is better than the one that you couldn't play with us because it was so addictive.
Yeah, dude, and I'm fucking addicted to this. I can't put it down. I don't know if anyone's been paying attention to my Discord activity, but you've probably seen Mechabellum up there.
No, we don't spy on people like you do, Sniper. Okay, jeez.
Is there any multiplayer aspect to this?
It's fully multiplayer except for the survival mode versus the.
$11, huh? I mean, you're driving a hard. I'm thinking I should pick this up.
I would, if any of you play it, I would love to play 2v2s with you. I feel like it would be super satisfying.
All right, I'm putting it in my cart, but I'm not pulling the trigger. All right, I won't be pressured.
Okay, don't let me pressure you.
You're just gonna be yelled at by. You're just gonna be yelled at by a sniper the whole time. He's like, you fucking idiot! I don't need to put your goddamn artillery over there. And you're like,
what are you, a barbarian?
Just give me your units. You're not gonna use them.
There's okay. First of all, maybe that would happen in another game, but this game, the rounds are so quick that it doesn't really matter. We're talking like 10 minutes a round. So if we fuck up, we can just go back in, and it's like no worries. The community is also super not sweaty. I'll be like, good luck, have fun. They'll be like, oh, that was a great mech you put down. I love how you did the shield. I'll be like, thanks, man. I love how you put your snipers on the left flank. And then we'll just have this back. And I've had this like multiple times with people. Like, everyone is just so happy to play.
Is this a Canada exclusive?
Yeah.
Are you on the Canadian server? Are you not playing on the rest of the world?
Yeah, it's just me.
You
and a
usually
bunch
play
of
on the
wholesome
Texas server
people
and tell me how it is.
on Mechabellum. Yeah, DLG, maybe don't join. I don't know. Be on your best behavior, okay? If you play, represent us well. Mechabellum, Bobby, feeling robotic today?
Oh boy.
Every day.
Yeah, so I wasn't going to talk about RoboCop Rogue City. I played it maybe 2 weeks ago, actually. Bought it on Steam, played it, returned it. I was kind of hyped for this game because, big fan of the movie and heard some good things about the game. Reviews were pretty positive, but it is pretty generic. It feels like a first-person shooter from like the mid 2000s. It just is, I don't know, super standard. You run around, you shoot people, you level up your character. They've got a talent tree. It's all pretty boring gameplay, to be honest. So I was wondering, how is this game getting such good reviews? Because the reviews are good. And I flipped through them, and it was what I thought. People really liked how close they stuck to the movie, and they did that really well. All the characters from the movies are in the game. The voice acting is actually pretty good. There's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of story. So if you like the movie, you'd like the game. And they capture that that real satirical tone that RoboCop had too. So I mean, they really nailed it on that front. But when it comes down to the gameplay, it's just plain boring. Like I couldn't really get into it. I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it or finish it. The company that developed this, Teon, they've made other games too that I was looking at, most notably these Terminator games. And as I'm flipping through the Terminator game, it looks exactly like this one, but just reskinned, basically. It looks like they kind of just used the same formula or the same design, which, I mean, it's all right. 15 years ago, this would have been amazing. But by today's standards, I just feel like you really need to do more. And
It's $63, Bobby, and it's 93% positive. Like, that's
Jeez.
really, really positive for like kind of what you're giving. I guess, has there not been very much RoboCop stuff out?
Yeah, RoboCop media is
yeah, there's not very many games when it comes to that, and it's a pretty popular movie or franchise. So I imagine people were just really excited to be in that world. They did a good job of that. I mean, it is kind of cool to walk around the cop station, and like they did it just like the movie, and you feel like you're in this 3D space. And when you go from the upper level entrance into the firing range, into the garage, like you've seen all those parts in the movie, but to see them kind of connected and you feel like you're in that world, it is pretty cool. But I don't know. Again, the gameplay just is not there, unfortunately. So I don't know. Gonna have to skip it on this one. I can't spend time on games that aren't amazing, like Mechabellum. See, here's the problem.
It does
man.
sound good, right, Bobby?
It does sound really
about
good.
picking it up?
But here's the problem. Like, I can't play games. I'm not going to waste my time with games that are bad, but then I don't want to play games that are too good because then I'm just going to get addicted.
Yes, dude. That's the fucking problem.
dude.
man.
You sound like the richest people on earth. Like, I swear to God, I
I'm
don't want to be
dreaming.
happy, but I don't want to be too happy.
Dude, I'm going to bed and I'm like, oh, on that last fight, I should have got the fire guy. I would have destroyed his mass robots on the left flank, and I'm like, it's too much. In like a week, I'll have to uninstall this. But until then, I would love to play with you guys.
Fucking first world problems, man. But you know what I spent 2 hours doing today? So we have those backyard string lights that everybody has, the ones that are
Yeah,
next
the
year.
ones from Costco.
Those ones, yes. Ours were too droopy, dude. So for 2 hours, I had to string cable across and then make it look straighter. That's what I did for 2 hours today. And I
Who
was
said
just
they were
like,
too droopy? You or Sam?
Sam, of course, dude.
Of
I thought it was
course. They're
fine
not
with
too droopy.
droopy. Yeah.
They're perfectly fine.
Yeah,
She just saw
but-
something on fucking Pinterest. Was like, you shouldn't have droopy fucking lights. It'll cause cancer or something. Like,
Yeah.
that's what
But
happens.
I was thinking about like the most. I was like, I need you to understand that this is the most first world problem thing you ever fixed on Amazon. And after I finish this task, I am going to play video games and then do the podcast, and you are not going to bother me.
A trade, like a
trade.
a bad trade. What's not a bad?
Sorry
trade, guys?
Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. What's not a bad trade is what we're giving you to guess this sound. $35 in the pot. No one guessed it the first week. No one guessed it the week after. We're adding $5 every week. You can email pixelshitshow@gmail.com to guess. And guys, we have a guess.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna play the sound before so that everyone knows. Okay, here's the sound. That's what we're guessing off. And Ben sent in 2 guesses because he's a patron, and patrons get 2 guesses because we care about you. He guessed a crowbar hitting a metal crate in Half-Life 2, and his second guess was or Gary's mod. Now, I'm gonna need a drum roll. Who can give me a drum roll on the right or wrong? Okay. It's wrong, Ben. It's wrong. Oh, it's wrong, and it pains me to say it's wrong. But you're out there, and you know the answer. You can email, again, pixelshitshow@gmail.com to guess. And next week, Bobby, Emilio, and Nick will get an opportunity to help you narrow down what you should be guessing. It'll be $40 next week.
I'm
This is
excited.
usually-
Are you?
Why don't we give them a clue Why don't we give them a clue this week?
No.
No, because I haven't prepared for it. No.
No, exactly. Well, I thought every second guess, because if we're giving out clues left, right, and moons over my hammy, we're never gonna get the pot to like $100.
Could I help? Could I help if see, I have a clue, even though I don't know the answer. Maybe I could just float it out there. Emilio's
Misinformation?
yeah, it could be. Emilio's misinformation.
Emilio's misinformation.
See, things like this, I like to play the meta game. Who put it together? Christian. What's his favorite thing? Star Wars. I think it's some sort of thing from Star Wars. That's all I'm going to say.
Interesting. Okay, wait.
No.
I like this. I like this free thinking. Bobby, Nick, do you have any free thinking thoughts?
Well, I think you're playing Black Mesa right now, so I feel like it is something in the Half-Life universe.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. I think it's whatever you're playing right now for work. That's the reason why. That's that's the motivation behind it.
Hey, can we talk a little? Are we running long, short? Where are we right now?
We're at about an hour.
Okay, we got a little bit of time. Dude, I messaged you and I was like, hey, what do you think of Black Mesa? And you were like, this might be the best single player first person shooter I've ever played or something like that. Or I've never had this much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you liking about it? Or you can't really elaborate more than what you talked about last week?
I don't know if I have anything new to add other than it keeps surprising me. Like every time I get to a puzzle, I have this 5 minutes where I'm like, how the fuck am I going to make this work? I'm looking around for stuff, looking around for clues. And when I figure it out, because there's that time where I don't know, it's so satisfying and I can't wait for the next one. I love going into a room and I'm like, oh, how am I going to get out of here? I'm excited. I'm like, yes, I'm going to figure it out. It's fun. I haven't had to look up anything yet, but I imagine if the game gets progressively harder, eventually I will have to, because I've been stuck on something for 15, 20 minutes before, literally beating my head against the fucking wall. How do I get it?
They did a really good job of you not feeling like, oh, how could anybody look that up without looking it up? And then also, I feel like some people could just walk in and just figure it out right away. It's simple and difficult at the same time, just depending on who you are. I feel like it was a really nice balance.
I think the term you're looking for is accessible by all. Everybody can take a crack at it and everybody can solve it. or I should say the majority of people. Obviously, like a 5-year-old can't. I think your average gamer of intelligence could like be like, okay, I don't. This is hard, but I don't need to look it up. And if you're lazy or you just want like you're trying to save time, yeah, you're gonna look it up. But it's part of the Half-Life games is the physics puzzles or the puzzles in general. So
yeah, the most recent puzzle I did, I was stuck underwater, and I was trying to get to this ledge. And I went into all these rooms, and when I go in these rooms, just when I find something out, the wall collapses, or the staircase comes down over my head, and I lose half my health. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's no way to do it. I've exhausted all opportunities. And then underwater, I find these giant red buoys, and I free them from this cage they're trapped in. And I'm like, okay, they floated to the top. Obviously, I'm supposed to use these. So I'm jumping across them, but it's like janky as fuck. And I just like, I'm like half drowning. The game is like, da, 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 da. Like it's doing something really weird. My character's going over. And then I just like go in the water and I pop up like a buoy and I land exactly where I need to. And I was like, that can't be the way I was supposed to have done it.
you just jerry-rig the fucking game to work for you.
Yeah, like
It's funny when that shit happens.
It is, yeah. I think I recorded that one too. I've been recording it just in case to make a video. I've just been so blown away. Yeah, Black Mesa, a bonus segment, folks. Bobby, we got some listener questions. People like us enough to ask questions.
Yeah, we got a few listener questions. First one coming from Cricket Soldier. When it comes to games with secrets, Easter eggs, or hidden items like Remnant 2, how long do you wait until looking up a walkthrough on the internet?
He's asking specifically about Remnant 2 because I was supposed to put it on the list, but I didn't. We beat it, the DLC this last weekend. Beat it being like we finished it for the first time. But there are probably many versions of beating it, at least 4, I would guess. One where you do what the king wants, one where you don't do what the king wants, one where you go kill the person the king doesn't like, the one where you save the person, and so on and so on. So those are all in there. And so that's what he's talking about. And I do have to give a little bit of shout out to Cricket. We were playing through, and I found a witch casting a spell on a pig. And, she's like, and the pig's like, it wasn't having a good time. It was like, right? So I killed her. I killed the bitch, right? Like, why would you not? And then we died immediately after for stupid reasons. And so he's like, hey, man, I wonder if we just let her keep casting, if something else would happen, like what does she turn the pig into or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's really good. So we did that same thing on the next run through, and we let the casting continue. And there was never like a final point where she was like, and now it's a donkey or whatever. But like she just kept going and going and going. And I was like, yeah, I don't think it's going to do anything. And then we aggroed the both of them, and they came at us, and the pig was supercharged, had like red glowing, like Super Saiyan pig, right? So we killed that thing, and because it was Super Saiyan this time and was not Super Saiyan the first time, it dropped an item. And so we got an item that was a quest item that we're able to yeah,
that's cool.
Dude, the game is so good. The game by the way, so like, yeah, it's relatively short, despite that you can play it different ways. But it was $10, like whatever. It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say about the secrets. In Remnant 2, for me personally, it feels like I enjoy the secrets coming more from people that I'm playing with than I do searching them up. And that's a very unique thing. Like I can't find any other games that work that way. And it does make me like, there were several times where I'm like, this looks like there might be something here. And then we go investigate, and whether there is or isn't, like, it's nice to be on the hunt for secrets. Remnant 2 does secrets in a way that's reminiscent of the first video games. Like, you tell your friends about it. Like, that's the way that I interpret it. And it's something unique. I don't think Yeah, the Souls-like games, of course, have tons of secrets, or if not secrets, it's like how you do it, because there's only one way to do something, and so you're dropping secrets to each other through those little notes. But other than that, you have to be like have a web page open and constantly going back. That's too much. I feel like that's too much. If you're going a web page open and you're going back and forth, that's too much. But I really like the balance of Remnant 2 and their secrets. None of that answers your question, but you guys can go.
I feel like for Bobby, the time to look up must be couple seconds based on what you've shared before.
Yeah.
That was a quick answer. Yeah.
I'm busy, dude. I don't waste my time trying to figure things out too much. I mean, some games the point is to figure it out. So, I'll play the game. But after a while, like I'm just like, whatever, man.
Yeah. For me, it's I really don't look up secrets because I'm not too into them in the sense of like achievements for finding all the backpacks in Spider-Man 2. It's more like if the secret has an interaction in the actual game, I'll look up usually if I've beaten the game once. Now, if it's like a puzzle to continue the game and I'm spending more than an hour on it, then yeah, I'm going to look it up. But that's very, very, very rare for that to happen. I think the latest thing that I looked up, and it's not really a spoiler because I'm not going to mention any specifics. In Baldur's Gate, there are legendary weapons, right? Well, there's legendary items in general. There's like armor and all the shit. Well, the amount of legendaries you get in the game is exponential when it comes to what chapter you're in. So in chapter 1, you can get 1 legendary. In chapter 2, you can get like 3 or 4. And then in chapter 8, you can get like 12. Because there's like a power spike, right? The game doesn't want to give you too much shit to make the game too much easier, right? Well, one day I was like, I wonder, is there anything I've missed in Act 1? I've done it 6 times. Like, I deserve to know if there's anything I'm missing, right? And it turns out there is another way to get another legendary in the first act. And or the first chapter, whatever you want to call it. It's technically an act. It involves disarming somebody at a very interesting time that you would never think of unless you have like an ultimately creative mind. But yeah, you get a legendary weapon in the first act, and that weapon will carry a certain type of character throughout the whole game with just that one weapon. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Love when they do so much work that they didn't need to do, man. How's your run going, Christian? Do you even play that game anymore?
Oh,
you did. You were playing earlier.
We play it multiple times a week. That's me and Rianne's date night. We have this won't surprise you guys. In our spreadsheet, our budgetary spreadsheet, we have date night as an item, and usually we go to an event, see some music or whatever. This month we've spent $0 because we've just been playing Baldur's Gate, and it's so
That's
fun.
So awesome, dude.
Rianne turns to me and she's like, "Do you want to play?" She's actually kind of, well, not angry, but she was like, "Oh, you're doing the podcast? I really wanted to play some more Baldur's Gate."
Yeah, it's like just remind her that's how you found out about that game. Was
that's
our
true.
podcast?
Yeah,
and we had to force you to play it.
Yeah, we had to force you. I bought it for you.
Okay, no reminders. I know I'm wrong. I was wrong not to play it the instant it came out. It's so good. But I don't think we've finished when you finish an act, is it like very obvious? It's like you are now on act 2.
It'll tell you are heading to a new zone. Please finish up anything you're doing. Like it doesn't say act 2.
Okay,
right?
then I think I'm just about to go to act 2 then.
Yeah, there's an act 1.5 technically, but you can skip it, which is interesting. There's a lot to skip there.
I feel like Bobby and I are in the same boat. Like I'm currently not playing it because I'm not playing it multiplayer. That's where you're at, Bobby.
Yeah. I don't know. I really got to play that game, but I don't know. It's just such a big game that it's kind of hard to. It's a little intimidating.
It is, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not playing it
I'm
because
having a tough time adjusting to the D&D stuff too. That's been challenging.
I'm not gonna say anything.
I have such a hard time
Nick's
I have such a
Prime.
hard time with my schedule. There's just no way. I'm gonna have to play it single player, and like if I were playing that, it's kind of like right now. I didn't bring it up, but I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk. And it's just like, there's not always something to talk about, but that's where all of my gaming time is going.
So, by the way, playing this game single player is way harder than playing it multiplayer. Playing it with 2 people is not that bad, but playing with 4 is really broken. Like you can make fights incredibly easy, even on the hardest difficulty, because in the single player game you can't line up abilities so they all go off like back to back to back. But with multiplayer, you can just be like, all right, everybody hit this one dude like as hard as you can all at the same time, 1 2 3, and then bonk. So
are you saying that you don't control all of them? You do control all of them.
You control all of them, but it's step by step. Like it's not like, okay, Gale, you cast Fireball, Lae'zel, you do Disarming Strike, and then I'm gonna do Divine Smite, and then boom, it all happens at once. No, your character or whatever character you're controlling initiates combat, so it all goes from there.
I see. All right, let's move it on.
All right. We've got 2 questions from Morconius. First, he says, let's have a chat about the Fantasy Critic. It's coming down to the wire. Most competitive years so far. Coming down to Metal Slug Tactics versus SteamWorld Build versus Mina the Hollower. So this is the fantasy league that you guys are playing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And apparently, like, I did pretty well, and I could have done even better, but I didn't do any of my upkeep again, like last year.
See, this is why I don't participate.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have been on top of it. I mean, really, I only had to go in there 3 times in 1 year, and I probably would have been fine. It's not like NFL where things are happening every week. But yeah, I think I'm in like 4th place. Christian,
Pick up 2 games, dude. Yeah, you are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place, but you're still ahead of me, who played competitively. Well, I mean, I only chose City Builders, so it's fine. Or not City Builders, but yeah, I like to have a theme to my team. But you should pick up 2 more games, Emilio. You can still make bids right to the end of the year, and there's a bunch of games we haven't picked up. Metroid Prime 4, Warhammer 40,000, Ultra Kill, Stellar Blade. All these games releasing in December could turn it around for you, because it is very at the end. I mean, the person in first has 95 points, or 99 points, sorry, but the person in second has 97 points. Yeah. The person in third has 96 points, and the person in fourth has 95 points. It's like neck and neck. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, extremely close.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think I hear your nose whistles, Emilio.
What do you want me to do, man?
Stop breathing.
He can't eat. He can't breathe. No, yeah. Because he slurpees himself like we're at the movie theater. Yeah, right. Warconius, that's awesome. I feel like we should do it again next year too.
So it works off of the calendar year. So you guys are going to be done by January.
We'll
Correct.
Be December, the last day of December.
We definitely don't go off the fiscal year.
All right. Next question from Warconius. The Steam Deck OLED is really great. An OLED screen makes a huge difference. Is anyone upgrading their monitor or TV? And have you ever used a projector to play games?
Yeah, I had a projector in my apartment. Bobby, you remember that? When I met you, I had that going. I feel like.
Yeah, I remember the projector.
Yeah.
How much was that projector?
Fuck, dude. I have zero idea, dude. But
I feel like it was a lot.
They were a lot back in the day.
It was
I remember
nice,
spending $2,000 on a projector that had a 10 by 20 or 1024 by 768 resolution.
Jesus.
But I didn't have a TV and a projector. Like that was my TV. So subtract that from my TV
Yeah,
costs, I
yeah.
guess. But it was. I remember measuring it. It was 13 feet corner to corner, and of course, it didn't look that great and all this stuff. But yeah, like obviously, I don't know my computer monitor. So just imagine your computer desk, but one more thing on it, and it was my projector, and the projector was projected on the wall of my apartment. And so, if it was time for music with a visualizer or music videos, or if it was time for, there were certain games, puzzle games you could play. You can't play it first, but it was just it doesn't make sense to be looking, you know. But other than that, yeah, I really liked it. I think about it all the time. I have a projector now, and I just don't see you have it. It's all about set and setting, really. Like, what room are you in? What are the lighting like? A lot of things have to go into a projector, but yeah, it can be done, and it is rewarding if done right with the right game.
Well, I've never had much luck gaming on a projector. It's just too much of a screen to look at. You have to crane your neck to look in different parts of the screen to see things. It's pretty much impossible to play any sort of RTS or top-down view game like that. And yeah, first-person shooters maybe,
but if you were playing like a Jackbox game with people that
no, you can do that, but you can't play in like any quick reaction.
No quick reaction stuff. Yeah, it's more for. It's nice to have your computer hooked up to it, but not so much for gaming. For single player gaming.
Yeah,
my buddy doesn't have a TV at all, and he has a console, and he just has a projector. I kind of like it because TVs are like that's the focal point of a living room. You know,
yeah.
If you just want people over to talk and you don't want anything on the TV or not watching anything, you know, a lot of people's places aren't really big to have two separate spaces. And then you're just like around this TV awkwardly. So it's kind of cool because the way he has his living room, he can just turn on the projector if he wants to use it. And if not, he has a couch right underneath the projector. So everyone's kind of looking at each other if we're not watching something.
That's why my TV comes out of the ceiling with lines of cocaine on it, dude. Just like...
Rich
if it's party time, it's party time.
Disco ball hanging down.
You're worrying about fucking loose lights? God damn.
His lights get a little tighter when it's party time.
It's time to party. Turn on the lights.
All right. Anything else on this queue?
Nope. Those are all our questions. Oh,
That's
you're asking. All right. Okay, well, I guess that's it. What's everyone
just in general? I do want that OLED fucking Steam Deck. If anybody wants to buy my Steam Deck, it's the base model of the old one. I'll probably sell it for $250, so that I can buy this new OLED one. Even though
the new OLEDs are about the same price as the old ones. Are the old ones cheaper, or they're just not?
Shut up, Bobby.
You're fucking up my grind. Jeez.
Yeah. But $250, and not it's just not the screen, it's also the hardware's been upgraded as well. And so
you're gonna get an autographed version from Emilio and then a lipstick kiss on it from Emilio as well.
I probably cummed on it at some point.
Ew.
You're really getting a signature there.
I swear, man, if someone buys something from you like that, they're gonna set you up for like a fucking crime one day. Like this whole room's covered in semen, but it's not the perpetrators. How's it even possible?
What are you guys playing this week?
I am going to play Age of Discovery for WoW Classic. That comes out on the 30th, I believe. So I'll probably play that Friday. Until then, Baldur's Gate with my niece-in-law, and my nephew-in-law, and my wife. So that'll be interesting. A lot of yelling, probably.
I don't think you have to say in-law if it's your nephew or your niece.
I don't think I do either. So yeah, my nephew, my niece. So
listen, Nick, you're already a pro. You've already been through it. Let them make their own mistakes.
Oh no, I'm just gonna be the guy that Unga and Bunga's, dude. I'm just gonna be the guy with the big stick.
Unga and Bunga. There you go.
I'm playing fucking Mechabellum. all
Yeah,
fucking
Mechabellum.
week until I
Oh, I do
uninstall
got to
it.
play that U-boat game. I'm sorry. The Destroyer game. Yeah, there you go. We'll see.
Bobo.
It turns out I do not have Roboquest on Epic Games, so maybe I'll be playing that off of your account. Maybe I'll pick it up. I don't know. Maybe I'll give in and play Mechabellum, see what that's all about. Yeah, I got
We
some
never
options
saw
this
Bobby
week.
again.
Given.
I don't know, dude. That and Warcraft Rumble. It's just like I don't know, man. Like our games. Did games change or did I? They all just seem way too addictive.
Not Warcraft Rumble. That is addicting. Dude, they try to tell me if I open Warcraft Rumble right now, I'm sure they're going to be like, "Where did you go? You have a quest." Like I did.
Your son is here waiting for you.
I have it.
You gotta have a son.
I'm opening up a chat. Look what they're trying to do to me. Mechabellum doesn't do any of that.
Yeah, I do not care for mobile. So.
For me, more Cyberpunk, and at the last minute, right before the podcast, I'll probably do some indie title so I can talk about it, just like I did Arcade Paradise. But I do kind of feel like my arcade is dying without me, and I want to.
My dad's getting mad.
Yeah,
my sister's
where are the profits? Yeah, it's so. He belittled me. You know oh. You ran the numbers, did you? That's what he said. You ran the numbers, did you? And I was like, you fucking dick. I have charts, you motherfucker. I have proof. I have proof.
He's been running that laundromat before you were born, dude. He knows.
Speaking for Nick, Bobby, Christian, and myself, we're going to go with Arcade Titties, everyone. Arcade. Do, 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 do. It's the intro you want to avoid, but we can really let it go right here. Just let it fly. Any thoughts?
Let's see.